Starting with news from India, residents of the Indian capital continue to reel under the pollution crisis as central and state authorities scramble to implement course correction measures. Delhi government, it's announced a work from home for 50% of the government employees amid worsening air pollution in the national capital. The air quality in Delhi remained at worrying levels for another day on Wednesday morning. Visibility remained low as a thick layer of smog engulfed the capital. According to Central Pollution Control Board, Delhi's average AQI was at 422 at 6 a.m. this morning, while it was at near 350 in neighbouring Noida and Ghaziabad districts. As air pollution worsens in Delhi, the Aam Aadmi Party government has directed 50% of its employees to work from home. Delhi Environment Minister Gopal Rai wrote on social media platform X, I'm quoting, "To reduce pollution, the Delhi government has decided to start work from home in government offices. 50% of the employees will work from home for its implementation. A meeting will be held with the officials at 1 p.m. today in the Secretariat." Most monitoring stations in the national capital showed air quality levels in the severe to severe plus category. The worst AQI was recorded in the Mundka station at 463. The AQI index at Anand Vihar station was recorded at 454, while it was 457 at Ashok Vihar monitoring station. Grab 4 restrictions remain intact in Delhi, prohibiting commercial construction, the entry of trucks, with an exception for those carrying essential items or using clean fuel. However, Delhi's odd-even rule with respect to private vehicles has not been implemented yet. Delhi's Environment Minister Gopal Rai said the government has not ruled out the possibility of implementing the odd-even rule. However, the state will take a decision based on experts' advice and requirements. This will happen in the coming days. The government has directed hospitals in Delhi to set up special teams to deal with the cases of respiratory illness. As per India's weather department, the combination of dense fog in Punjab, Haryana and Delhi, in addition to slow northwest winds, is the reason pollutants remain trapped in the air. The Gurugram administration have asked private sector companies in the city to allow work from home to half of their staff. Union Health Secretary has issued an advisory for all residents, especially vulnerable groups like children, the elderly and people with respiratory issues, to take special care. And for more on this, a correspondent Dharamjot Kaur is now joining us on the phone line. Dharamjot, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, the latest is that the Delhi government has announced a work from home for 50% of the government employees. Just for better understanding for our viewers, could you just give us a lowdown of the situation this morning in Delhi?
Well, here the situation does remain dire even today. We've been seeing for over a week now that a thick blanket of smog has engulfed the national capital and other neighboring North Indian states. The air quality also continues to remain in the severe plus category. And the PM 2.5 levels, which are the toxic pollutants that everybody is talking about these days, they are also way above safety standards. So clearly the situation is far from over. We still have days, unfortunately weeks ahead before the situation becomes better. And given how dire the circumstances are, as you rightly mentioned, the Environment Minister of Delhi, Gopal Rai, has announced in a tweet that 50% of the staff of the state government offices will be working from home, given how dire the circumstances are. Of course, the implementation of it, the entire process and protocols to be followed, will be discussed later in the afternoon today. And a similar policy we saw coming out of Gurugram in the national capital region. They have also asked for work from home policy to be instituted for private sector organizations as well. So we're seeing a sort of lockdown-like measures being implemented across Delhi and the NCR region here. Now, as far as the Gurugram area is concerned, they've been advised to adopt a 50% work from home policy starting today, and this is indefinite at the moment. So it will continue until and unless the situation of the pollution crisis gets better.
Right.
Now, the other issue...
Please continue. Please continue.
Yeah, just quickly, Him. The other issue that we're still seeing a political standoff or an administrative standoff on is the issue of artificial rain. So we have the state and the center that is still trying, there's still a bit of a tussle going on whether or not artificial rain will be implemented as a measure to mitigate this pollution crisis. So there's still no clarity on whether that will happen. There's still no clarity on whether the odd-even rule will be implemented in Delhi here.
Interesting that you mentioned that, Dhananjot, because that's exactly what I was coming to next. The meeting will be held with the officials at 1 p.m. today in the Secretariat. Of course, as you mentioned, there is the issue of the odd-even rule and whether compliance is ensured. There's also the issue earlier, we had discussed this, of bringing in measures not in a timely manner. So what do you reckon, Dharamjot, are we going to see that the odd-even rule is going to be brought in soon?
Well, there are certain residents and welfare organizations in that as of today had filed a sort of grievance complaint saying that GRAP 4 measures are not being implemented properly and uniformly across Delhi. So there are chances that we might see the odd-even rule being implemented for private vehicles. We already know that under GRAP 4 measures, commercial construction has been suspended. Trucks, unless they're carrying essential goods, are prohibited from entering the national capital. So those measures have already been in place for over 2 days now. Whether or not private vehicles will also see some sort of prohibitory measures with respect to the odd-even rule, there is a possibility it might be determined today. However, there is still no clarity on that front. Gopal Rai, the environment minister, had said that it might be a few days before that particular policy is implemented. They're still waiting to hear back from experts with respect to how feasible it is, and two, how impactful it is at this point. Because as we've been seeing for the past few days here, all the measures that are now coming from the state and other authorities, these are all reactionary measures. How much of an impact they have in the days going forward, that is still a big question at this point here.
Right. Well, Dharamjot, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on this. We'll, of course, continue to track and monitor this closely through the course of the day.